So, Sophie Cunningham has decided to start her own podcast, which, in my opinion, is really good for not just herself and the Fever. It's also really good for the WNBA. Now, saying that, mind you, also Aaliyah Boston and my goat, my personal goat, Candace Parker, have also started a podcast, which, if you haven't seen either one of these podcasts, you're missing out. Now, Sophie Cunningham's is called Show Me Something. This is in play with the fact that her and her co host are from Missouri. Now, she's been fined $500. She said something about it in the podcast, and she got fined $1,500 for her statements. But you know what? I think that's necessary. Not just for her, but for the simple fact of that it shows that they're wanting to go after people for talking about a problem without actually fixing the problem. But let's get into it a little bit here. Also, hit like and subscribe. Hey folks, this is Paul with Redneck Sports. I want to thank you for viewing my video, and I want to give you one thought process. There was a famous coach at University of Tennessee by the name of General Robert Neyland. He had 6 maxims, but number 2 maxim is what everybody should apply to their life. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That's how to live your life right there. Now, Sophie made the comment, if I was a rep, I know I would mess up all the time. Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it's simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just so inconsistent, like that's one thing if you're on the other team and you're going to be fouling the S out of me, cool. But let me do it to you. I think players across the league and new fans across the country are like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not going to do S. Well, because of those comments, she was fined $1,500. Seriously, she's pointing out something that you need to talk about. Really, this needs to be talked about. These refs are out of their freaking mind. They're missing calls all the time. There are so many phantom calls, it's become a joke. They don't call what's actually happening, which is causing players to get physical with each other because, well, what else are they going to do? And there's no rhyme or reason to what these refs are doing. So you're wanting to find somebody for pointing it out, but you don't want to fix the problem. That's the WNBA's problem in and of itself. Now, like I said, this could be in a way to keep the league's value down, and they'll fix it whenever the league is no longer under threat from this joke of a CBA negotiation. But it's a simple fact of what kind of silliness is this? You're fining her $1,500 for talking about something that people are always talking about, but you don't want to fix that. Now, the Wings have traded Dejanay Carrington, which is a joke in and of itself. This league has gone out of control. The owners don't seem to be doing anything productive. These trades are idiotic. Satu Sabley, who is one of the best players in the WNBA, has decided she wants out of where she's at. But you don't want to fix a problem that could actually cause these players to actually care? WNBA, you've got 3 problems. Number 1 problem out of all of it is the simple fact of that you need to fix these refs. Number 2 problem, you need to figure out how to quit having feast or famine when it comes to coaches. Seriously, you do. You've got some good coaches. There are a couple of okay coaches. I think Stephanie White is in that okay category. And then you've got some, and mind you, Stephanie White might come away as something better, but considering what she did at Vandy, I don't consider her to be able to be much of anything because the WNBA, she'll once the WNBA actually grows to something, I don't see her being able to be much. Seriously, I'm not. If you can't coach at Vandy who can get any player they want, it's an SEC school number one, so players are wanting to play in the in the SEC because they get noticed. And then throw in the fact that ooh, yeah, she's done good in the WNBA, but take a look at the rest of the coaches there. She's doing okay with some half the coaches being horrific. Some of the coaches are good. So there's your second problem. And third, you've got players that have no respect for what's going on because you don't actually communicate with them. You know, we need a red Auerbach. We don't need corporate owners on these teams. We need a red Auerbach. We need a James Kent Cook. Seriously, we do. We need people that are important to the league and know how to communicate with their players. These players would not be what they're would Sophie Cunningham would not need to talk like this if there were people in the front office that actually knew what they were doing. Well, they probably do. They're probably being told, no, you keep it. This is that MBA, Masters of Business Administration. This is that kind of thinking process going on. Seriously, it is. You take a look at what MBAs are taught, and this is what you get. This league is what you get when you have business majors running it, but nobody with any common sense. The NBA has already got people talking about experts, people that know what they're doing, that are saying that the NBA is starting to fail. You see what they did to Luka Doncic. But now Sophie Cunningham is getting fined because she's talking about a problem. Maybe instead of having that, Engelbert should go to her and go, okay, what can we do to get you and the other athletes that are part of the WNBA on board? But instead, you've got a CBA negotiation that's a joke. The WNBA Players Association, that, I'm sorry, you ladies are a joke. It's basically become, hey, we're a meme. We're failing upwards at this point, and it's probably not going to be sustainable. And you're fining her $1,500 for talking about the truth? Yeah, that's a problem. Here's the thing right now. WNBA, both owners and athletes, are clueless. Now, Sophie Cunningham was able to get into the right position at the right time, and she figured out how to capitalize on it. She's not one of those that I have a problem with. Why? Because she knows what she is doing and she does it really well. She has model like looks. She has an attitude that it doesn't matter what your skin color is. If you're a guy, you can appreciate this woman, unless you're some beta male liberal. This is somebody that should not be getting punished for her views, but she is. Why? Because you have a liberal front office with a players association that's liberal, and none of y'all have any common sense. But Sophie Cunningham, I don't know what her politics are, but she's at least showing she's got some brains in her head, and she's telling the truth. And if you want to find her, well, that just shows how truthful she is because you're not addressing the issue, you're addressing her comments and her ability to speak freely. You know what? This needs to end. But it's not. It's going to get worse, and it's going to keep getting worse. And that's the WNBA for you. But Sophie Cunningham, please keep going because I enjoyed your show. I know she won't be watching this, but that woman, her and Wes Wilson, I think is his name, her co-host. They were best friends in college or something. These two are amazing, and you should watch Show Me Something. But this has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. I want to thank you for watching my video. And if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all have a good day now.